Well, this is it. This is going to be the last regular one. I'm going to do another manga price for 2023, kind of the best of, show you what are the most expensive manga within 2023. English language, of course. But for now, let's get on to the week of December 23rd to December 29th. And it was a pretty good week, actually, surprisingly. Honorable mention number one for collections, The Wallflower. Volume 1 to 36 was listed for $874.99. Best offer accepted, Kodansha Comics 2012. Honorable mention is one I wanted to point out. It's One Piece. This is the first box set, which is volumes 1 through 23, $250. About $10.87 per book, Viz Media 2003. But the thing is, this box set is way more expensive than the other box sets, like box sets 2, 3, and 4 from One Piece. These have really gone up in price over the last few months. We'll get into a little bit more of that later. Honorable mention number 3. You don't see this one a lot. The Flame of Recca. 1 through 33. These are all ex-library copies. $420, Viz Media 2003. Honorable mention number 4 is one we have been seeing a little more lately, rising in price. This is Blood Blockade Battlefront, volumes 1 through 10, $500. That's like $50 per book. Dark Horse 2011. And finally, for honorable mention number 5, I wanted to get into something I'm going to call the Netflix effect. First of all, honorable mention number 5 is Yu Yu Hakusho, volumes 1 through 19, $550. That's about $28.95 per book. Okay, so what is the Netflix effect? Well, basically, it's when your anime is on Netflix, it's much more popular. I'll give you a couple examples, like Kimi na Todoke, but definitely the biggest one is One Piece, the live action, although they've had the animated on there for a long time. The One Piece live action really propelled English language One Piece sales to a whole nother level. I kind of see the same thing happening with Yu Yu Hakusho. Maybe not to the same extent because One Piece is so massive, but there's definitely some push. Our number 5 collection for the week is Love.com. Lovely Complex, volumes 1 through 17, $607.33 US, Viz Media 2007. Collection number 4 is one that when it sells complete, it goes for big dollars. It's Bokurana Rs, volumes 1 through 11, $674.14. That's like over $61 per book. Viz Media 2010. Number 3 is not the complete collection, but if it was, it would go for a lot more, but still. This is Air Gear, volumes 1 through 25, went for $674.99. The original volume 1 is from Del Rey, later Kodansha. It started in 2006. Collection number 2 is my old favorite, Excel Saga, volumes 1 through 27, $695. That's Viz Media 2003. And finally, the number 1 collection this week, Toriko, volumes 1 through 43, $800. That's Viz Media 2010. All right, let's get into singles here, and pretty good week actually. So we'll get. I've got a bunch of the ones that got away. There is a lot of best offers accepted, so I just wanted to highlight those. So the one that got away, number 1. My Hero Academia, Volume 1, the 2018 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, was listed for $300. Best offer accepted. The one that got away, number 2, GTO, The Early Years, Volume 8, was listed for $369.09. Best offer accepted. This is Tokyo Pop, 2008. And my final one that got away, the one that got away, number 3, GTO The Early Years Volume 10 was listed for $429.09. Best offer accepted. Tokyo Pop 2009. Honorable mention number 1 for singles is we've been seeing a lot of, not a lot, but a fair number of these go for big bucks. This is the Asterix War. This time it's Volume 3 of the light novel. went for $80. Yen Press 2017. There is also a best offer accepted for this particular volume that was listed at $89. I imagine it went for around this price as well. Honorable mention number 2. I normally show this one in collections because when it goes as a collection, it fetches really good money. But this is Sugar Sugar Rune, Volume 4, sold for $80. This is Del Rey 2006. Honorable mention number 3 is a new one. I like when I see something I haven't seen before go for good bucks. I like putting it on. This is Nightmare After School Volume 10. It has that final volume premium because this is the last volume. Went for $84.99. This is from a publisher called Go Kami back in 2009. So it has that, not only the final volume premium, the Dead Publishers premium as well. Honorable mention number 4 is another new one, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Volume 5, $113.47 US, Kodansha Comics 2012. And my final honorable mention, one that on any other week probably would have made the list. We've seen Volume 14 before of this one, but this is Volume 13. It's Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, Volume 13, $120, Kodansha Comics 2017. Also, Volume 15 went for $100 this week, so that 13, 14, 15 of Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, big dollars. Speaking of big dollars, let's get into the top 10, and here we go. Air Gear, Volume 25, $124.99. There is also an Air Gear 26 that went for $124, so almost a tie, but not quite. The weird thing about Air Gear is that, like a lot of these things, like Del Rey, when they stopped publishing manga and went over to Kodansha, a lot of those older Del Rey books are valuable. And this is true with Air Gear because the last one they published was the 15, 16, 17 Omnibus, and that is a big dollar book. Beyond that, it's kind of funny because it's hit and miss. So Kodansha took over at Volume 18. That's an expensive book, but 19, 20, and 21 aren't. 22 is. 23 and 24, not so much. 25 is expensive, 26 is expensive, 27 is expensive, 28 is very expensive. But then 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, not so much. 34 is expensive, 35 not so much. 36 is expensive. So it really gets hit or miss with the Air Gear once you get past the omnibus there that ended the Del Rey run. So interesting series. At number 9, we've seen this one before. This is Eye Shield 21, Volume 25, $129.90, and this is from Viz Media 2009. At number 8, we've also seen this one. It's A Certain Magical Index, Volume 14 of the light novel, went for $140. That's Yen Press 2018. At number 7, we had this one a few weeks ago, and it really surprised me that we did, but here it is again. Case Closed, Volume 42, or Detective Conan, $150, Viz Media 2013. At number 6, boy, we haven't seen this one for quite some time, but it's Blue Spring, $170, Viz Media 2004. Number 5, there's a reason why I showed you all those ones that got away. This is GTO The Early Years, Volume 9. This time it was not a best offer accepted. Went for $199.06, Tokyo Pop 2008. There's a tie for number 4, and since this is my final kind of listing for 2023, it just wouldn't feel right unless I had a new Mineko. This is Umineko, When They Cry, Episode 8, Volume 1, went for $199.95, Yen Press 2019. What is tied with at number 4? Naruto, Volume 1, the holographic gold foil edition. This is number 3,648 of 5,000, went for $200. Of course, this is from Viz Media 2003. At number 3, the last time we had one of these, it was signed by the original creator. It went for pretty good dollars. These are pretty darn rare, though. This is Ultra Gash Inferno, $227.73. This is from Creation way back in 2001. At number 2, this one was a bit of a surprise for me. Initial D, Volume 31, $300. Tokyo Pop, 2008. And finally, at number 1, it's another Tokyo Pop book, and we know this one is valuable whenever it sells. It's Battle Royale, the Ultimate Edition, Volume 5. It has that final volume premium, $393.71 US, Tokyo Pop, 2009. So that's the list this week. There's not going to be any of these that will enter the the top 10s of the year by any stretch, but it was still a pretty darn good week if you look at like collections, basically 600 to 800. Singles went from 125 to almost 400. So yeah, definitely some good stuff there. I'll put up the collections first. Really no surprises in there. Good to see Toriko back. Boy, I don't know if I'm ever going to get that Excel Saga all the way through. That's really starting to get expensive. Okay, we'll jump into the singles. So I'll put up the spreadsheet. It was another good week. Not some crazy surprises, although it was good to see like Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches Volume 13 this time. Initial D Volume 31. The fact it went for 300 really surprised me. We already knew Battle Royale, the Ultimate Edition Volume 5 was valuable. No surprise there. Those Naruto's Volume 1, the holographic gold foil editions, generally go for $200 to $250. They're nowhere near the One Piece in value. And finally, it was really good to see another Umineko on the list. So it's a good way to end it. So like I said, I've got one more video coming out regarding manga sales. I'll do kind of the best of 2023. It's been a fun experience. It's nice to get a sense of what's valuable, what's not. My biggest takeaway is that manga is not a collectible. And you have to remember, like, this is basically what we read is foreign language manga, because the original is in Japanese, right? So we're like, English is a foreign language edition. It's based on scarcity, right? The economic law of scarcity, in that if it's perceived to be rare, the price will go up. There's no such thing in English language manga as keys. There are collectibles if it's limited to like the 1 in 5,000s or San Diego Comic-Cons, New York Comic-Cons. Those ones, yes. Even the Barnes & Noble. Those are definitely collectibles because they're limited, right? But most people, when they buy manga, they're looking at the entire collection. They want the whole run. And as you can see, like an Air Gear, for example, there's some freaking hard to find volumes, and thus they become valuable because they're scarce. And it's not so much that they're valuable, it's that they're expensive, right? Because it's just law of scarcity. But yeah, I guess that's one of my big takeaways from doing this for years, that nobody goes after key issues unless you're buying the Japanese Shonen Jump. Yes, that's a key issue because that is the actual first appearance. So yeah, like I said before, it's basically supply and demand, right? So people buy collections. They actually want to read the entire collection. It's not so much of, oh my gosh, I've got the first appearance of Luffy in an English language manga, 34th printing. No, like, nobody cares about that, right? You want to read One Piece, or you want to read Ice Shield 21, or GTO. You're a big fan of GTO. You want the entire collection. That's what people are collecting, and some of those are rare and hard to find. So that's basically your big takeaway, right? So anyways, one more coming out, kind of the best of 2023, and Happy New Year, everybody, and we'll see you again in 2024. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.